Will you help me? Will you help me?
Come on in, everybody. Welcome to my house. Welcome to the Best Kills podcast. That's right. Oh, shit. That's what I'm talking about, everybody. Once again, welcome to the Best Kills podcast with myself and Mick Strawn. Mick is actually trying out cannibalism for the first time. He's actually going to be a little, just a second late, but yeah, he was just like, yeah, I'm going to try some of this human fingers dipped in barbecue sauce. I was like, really, Mick? He's like, yeah. Anyways, let me get him on the phone here. I know, damn it. Anyways, welcome to Scary Face, everybody. Welcome, please press the share button. And once again, welcome to the Best Kills podcast with me and my bloody buddy co-host, Mick Strawn. And let's go ahead and do the Skype dance. Yeah, do the Macarena to this shit. What's up, Roberta? What's up, Richard? What's up, Fitzy? Raven Rose? Roberta Briggs? Damn it! What up, everybody? Once again, we got a full house right here on Scary Face. Welcome to the Best Kills podcast, everybody. What's up, Mick?
Oh, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Did you get the memo? I don't know. I'm hearing an actual thong bikini, and this is kind of awkward. I don't know if it was just a prank, but
I am.
Okay, good.
Are you wearing yours on your head too?
Well, I have the bra piece on the top part of my head, and then I just got the banana hammock on, and it's kind of awkward. It's kind of like riding up in the wrong spaces.
Yeah, it's not that kind of banana, man.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we got a full house in here. We got Roberta, Drew, everybody, Johnny Page, Drew. What's up, Scary Face, Fitzy in the house. That's what I'm talking about. But anyways, yeah, right? But anyways, people, welcome to the Best Kills podcast. We were reviewing last night Deathbed, the bed that eats. So, I mean, this was a fucking crazy, awkward, just like a forgotten 70s film, you know?
You know, I swear I literally only picked it because of the title, but but getting into this thing, this is such a trip.
Right? I mean, honestly, man. I mean, at first when I started watching the movie, I thought the guy who was narrating behind the painting was just some like mentally disturbed guy, and I didn't get it. Like I said, you have to pay attention to this movie.
It takes a long, yeah. You know, if you think that you can fast forward through part of it,
nope,
and then just start it up again, you can't do that. I tried it twice. Like, dude, I'm lost.
I was lost the whole time. I mean, I swear. Everybody right now, we want you guys, after this podcast, go on YouTube.
You have to watch this.
Film.
This film is so bad that it vaults around terrible, and it comes right back around and smacks you in the side of the head.
Right?
It's amazing in ways. It's like a cross between a Fellini film and a documentary about fish.
I mean, honestly, like, it was just crazy, man. I mean, the bed was eating all types of weird stuff. I like the opening scene where the guy was bringing the girl there. He had the bucket
apple.
of chicken, the apple, and the fucking wine. And the bed's actually eating and drinking it. Like, they're laying there making out, and this bed is actually alive.
The bed drinks the wine. That was the best ever.
No. The best part is when they actually pops up the bone of the chicken wing when it was done.
Right.
Or the half-eaten apple. The guy was like, what the hell?
Yeah, what the hell? I've made a horrible mistake. Yes, you have, mister.
But yeah, it was crazy, man. I mean, in the bed, like, it was like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of perverted because anytime a girl was like near the bed and it was starting to like take its clothes off, it started to breathe all awkward. The bed and then the weird bubbling substance coming from the bed. I was only to speculate what that really was in my own head. And
what was really great is the fact that they made the bed really thin, right? So that you could like look underneath it and know that. Whatever tricks it is doing, that it didn't. You're seeing the whole thing, but it was so ridiculous,
right?
But at the same time, it's just you could not look away.
Right?
No
I mean,
way.
honestly, like at the end of the movie, I was just like, you know what? That was a crazy ass experience watching this movie, and I was actually, I mean, I love odd things and weird things, and I actually enjoyed watching it, honestly.
Oh yeah, so did I. And the thing is I think it must have been made for like nothing,
right?
I think its budget was $30,000.
Oh no way!
It's serious back then,
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, they spent that much.
Jesus.
But that's only because they had to burn the bed in the end.
Right? They burned everything. And it was weird, that little ritual at the end with the girl. I mean, before we jump there's still a lot of different stuff in that. Like the bubbles, I still got to get back to the bubbling sensation. I think. I mean, it was just crazy. It was just.
Now, didn't you at first think to yourself that the bubbling could have been, like just an aquarium or something, until it got to the point to where you're bubbling, with naked women in it, multiple, naked women in it all at once, and you're like,
right.
Oh my God, what are we looking at?
Right. I mean, some of the scenes in there were actually pretty cool, man. I mean, I like the part where the girl was dreaming on the bed, and a maid brought her like that tray of goo and caterpillars and a moth, and she was eating it. I was just like, what the fuck?
And what the hell was that all about?
Right? I mean, there was just so many odd points in this movie, and
here's the weird thing about it is, at that point, you're just like, okay.
Right? Like, I'll go with it. It's cool. It looks crazy.
You're so deep in by that point. You have the guy, but let's not forget the guy that is crouching behind the painting.
Right? Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, from what I got was this painter was on his deathbed. He painted his deathbed, which I guess he got trapped in the painting of the deathbed, and it transformed a demon or something in the bed? Or was the demon him?
I'm going to give you this is the plot according to Wikipedia, okay? This is the plot. Long ago, a demon fell in love with a woman and conjured up a bed on which to make love to her. The woman died during the act, and in his grief, the demon, weeping tears of blood, that fell on the bed and caused it to come to life. While the demon rests, the bed's evil is contained, but once every 10 years, the demon wakes, giving the bed the power to physically eat human beings. Only one man, an artist, identified as Aubrey Beardsley, was spared as the bed condemned him to immortality behind a painting where he must forever witness the bed's taking victims.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's what, I'm glad that you said all that, because now it just fits in all like a puzzle piece now. So
Yeah,
okay.
now you get it, right?
Yeah, because the whole when I found it and I sat down full focus, gonna watch this movie, you know, and it took off, and I was just like, okay. I was trying to piece together everything, you know,
Right.
Because it was kind of all over the place.
It was, and I got to tell you, I read that explanation and was like, oh yeah, maybe this should have come with a pamphlet.
Right, for real. Anyways, we got a bunch of people tuning in. Let's see who we got in the comments. Let's shout everybody out. We got Terry Wolf, Natalia Klinger. We got Sherry. What's good? Creeper Mama. We got Odd Mother in the house. 2 mamas. That's what I'm saying. We got Drew Grafton, Seth Beebe. How you doing? Van Shane, Pauline Paulson, Thomas Gomez. What's good, everybody? Cindy Logan, Drew. How you guys doing? Welcome to the Best Kills.
Yeah. Welcome on over.
And go ahead, tell him, Mick.
So you have to see this film. I mean, just for the utter lunacy of it.
Yes.
You know, and the thing that's great about it is that it isn't like an unmotivated lunacy. It isn't like a pure European film,
right?
To where
oh mon frère,
oh mon frère, we do art for the sake of art. No, it isn't that. We're actually killing people,
right?
This is you know what this is? This is New Jersey New Wave European.
Right. Seth Beebe says, how much LSD went into the making of that movie?
Oh, I have to say that I'm pretty sure that that people were drowning in it.
Yes.
Yes. You know, I mean, that's what they were using to drown people, and that's why it looks like that.
Yeah. I mean, because the bed, I mean, it was like a weird yellowy fluid. I mean, and one of the best kills, I mean, honestly, I think the best kill in that movie, honestly, was the part where the crucifix actually went into the bed and it started doing the sawing thing back and forth. And I was just like, holy shit, this is cool.
But
really easy.
The time where the sheets actually reach across the room and grab the black girl back.
Oh, yeah.
And suck her back into the bed.
Yeah,
Come on.
That was cool.
Right?
But what's crazy was I was watching that scene where the black girl was getting sucked into the bed, and she was crawling out of it, and when she actually crawled out, I thought like half of her butt cheek was missing, and they did like all this crazy special effects, but when I looked closer, it was just like heavy paint.
Right. And I have to say this. If you have ever wondered why it is that movie blood doesn't look like actual blood,
right?
There's a reason for that. And the reason is if it's translucent and if it's dark, it looks like it has a tendency to not look too graphic. And by graphic, I don't mean graphic as in, bad graphic. I mean graphic as in it doesn't even look real. Real blood doesn't even look real. Right. And the blood that they used was as close to real blood as you could get.
Right.
But it doesn't look real.
Right.
It just looks like a patch of red, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, like, because I mean, they did good. I mean, some of the camera angles catching the paint the right way with the lighting, it looked realistic. I was like, damn, half of her ass is missing.
Right.
But when they came in kind of close to her, I was just like, wait a minute, that's just heavy blood paint. Looks like somebody took a paint roller to her butt cheek.
It has this wonderful mix of high concept. With low execution. Right. It's sort of like, okay, here's what it is. Your backyard wrestling, which is something that I have to talk about too.
Oh God.
Your backyard wrestling,
Uh-huh.
backyard wrestling. It's sort of like that version of a European art film.
Right, exactly, because I always compared some of my wrestling matches to mainstream audiences, kind of like watching a car crash.
Right, exactly. It's just look away, I dare you.
Right, exactly. But anybody's, if you guys are tuning in right now, we're discussing Deathbed, the bed that eats. It's a 1977 cult forgotten horror film, and for all my horror people in the building, you guys have to see this. It's on YouTube. Doesn't cost a penny. Plug it in and watch it. Definitely.
It has a lot of nudity.
It does. A lot of nipples. I was kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say if I was aroused, but I was shocked to see how quick it was. Just like, okay, this guy's actually grabbing nipples and squeezing and stuff. I was like,
Right?
this is almost porno related.
It looked like it was on the edge of it.
Yeah.
And by the way, the whole scene, the whole middle where the bed gets moved outside,
Yeah.
and then you couldn't decide exactly what the hell was going on.
Right.
There was I don't even know what happened. The bed moved outside for a while, and when it was outside, there was a woman that was trying to seduce men,
Yes.
and bring them to the bed,
Mhm.
and I don't think it felt like eating. And I think
Yeah.
I think what that had to do was that it was in its 10-year hiatus,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't going to eat anybody anymore. It was all done with that.
Yeah, because I was paying attention to the story. It was cutting back and forth, like the sequences of the bed and its times, like over through the years, and it was showing this scene of it looked like an orgy was going on underneath these sheets.
That was great.
And then the guy and the girl went under there, and just like the whole bed just ate the whole orgy under the
right.
bed.
And then the bed just ate them all.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
That was great because it didn't seem like it was into like those people, and then all of a sudden it said,
Right.
I'm feeling a little bit peckish.
And I have to talk about this.
Just eat some more.
Right? Because I have to talk about the scene where the girl got eaten on the bed with a crucifix. It showed the skeleton, the skeleton with a wig, the skeleton with a wig.
Cool.
And then I think that girl, the bed ate, gave it a tummy ache because I do believe that bed was drinking Pepto-Bismol, if I'm not mistaken.
Did you see that? Did you see that?
I was like, that chick gave the bed a tummy ache, so it was drinking Pepto on the bed.
How freaking weird was that? That the bed actually took Pepto-Bismol.
Right?
That was the best. This is absolutely the best of the worst.
Yeah, man.
Or the worst of the best, or something like that. Oh God, there are just so many things in it that were just so amazing.
But yeah,
So
the death scenes were kind of cheesy, but they were still cool in their own little way. I like the backstory of the demon bed and everything, how it got into it. It was just it was a good storyline. I mean, I give it that.
For some reason, even the guy that's in the painting, once you kind of resign yourself to that, to the guy sitting behind the painting is actually the painting itself, right?
Right.
It was like, okay. It had so many elements that
For real.
that you had to just what do they call it? The suspension of disbelief,
Right.
It wasn't really a suspension as much of you had to pound it to death.
Right.
You had to take your disbelief out behind the barn
Right.
and just and slaughter it, like a knife.
I said, even the shots where the fireplace was going and the girls came back and it went into this weird montage. I don't know if the girl was dreaming, but she had a book in her hands and it was the Book of the Dead. I was like, what the hell?
That was hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah, definitely, people. If you guys are tuning in, we're discussing Deathbed, the bed that eats. It's a 1977 horror film that was forgotten about. It's on YouTube, though. We encourage you guys to check it out when you have time. For sure.
And the guy with the porno hair. at the very end.
Right.
Man, and I don't really know what happened at the very end. I really
that was kind of
enough-
out the window.
I did not have enough time to. It got to the end, and I had like a lunch meeting today, right?
Okay.
So it literally got to the end, right to the minute that I had to leave, and I just sat there for a minute and went like, wow.
Yeah, at the end, I guess that girl seduced a guy on the bed, and then they just burned everything. I guess the guy in the painting told the girl, gave her the information to destroy the demon bed and to release him from the painting so he can go to heaven or hell or wherever he's going.
Well, he can actually die.
Yeah.
And the girl that was half alive, did you catch that? The half dead girl?
Nuh-uh. Was that the one at the end?
That was the one, the one at the end.
Oh, yeah, coming back up through the blood of the tombstone.
She's the one, she's the same one that was in the coffin.
Oh, shit.
Remember the coffin? Looking at the side of the coffin?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, I get it.
That was that girl.
Damn. See, we should have watched this movie together instead of running around with our chickens with our heads cut off. Like, what's going on in this movie? It's like I was fucking bumping into everything trying to put pieces together about the film. I was like, oh, man. So, yeah, people, if you're going to watch Deathbed, the bed that eats, you definitely have... Yeah, you have to make sure to go where Mick was describing the film. Read that first so you get an understanding of the film.
Wow. And by the way, as far as I could tell, and I'm going to take a look here, but George Barry only did one thing, and that was actually this film.
Yeah, that's what I was just like, wait a minute. Like, I was trying to get, of course, I'm doing the homework on the guy, and I was just like, wait a minute, he only made this one film.
I mean, only a couple of people in the film actually went on to do anything at all.
Really? I wonder if we can hunt any of these people down. Maybe even talk about it. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? I mean,
hey, we do got three-way Skyping now, so we can get some people in here now. So,
well, what we could do is we could try and get a hold of William Russ.
Okay.
Or let's see, he's 68 now.
Okay.
Or we could get a hold of Linda Bond.
Okay. Definitely.
Oh,
yeah,
Linda Bond.
I want to hear some stories on the set.
Linda Bond is the 19th General of the Salvation Army.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's cool. I mean, hell yeah, she's doing something positive, so that's awesome.
Right. So she decided not to keep going with this.
Yeah. Obviously. I mean, maybe under better guidance with a better director, possibly. I don't know.
I want to bring up something about sound. What was with the sounds? I mean, the thing that's great is like every time they went out in nature, it was like nature was as loud as you could possibly imagine.
Mm-hmm.
It was like full 100%. Nature.
Yeah.
Frogs were.
You hear birds chirping. There's no birds around. You're like,
And birds are chirping, and it's like everything is like super loud, like a bee had come by and go. It was.
Yeah, whoever is doing the audio on that, we got to look that guy up.
Oh boy, that guy really. I mean, it's like, oh, dude, it's like the heaviest hand on sound I think I have ever heard on a film.
Right? Especially the awkward breathing of the bed when it was, I don't know if it was getting aroused with the whole bubbling.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say this. I think the bubbling was the bed ejaculating.
It was. The thing is now I know that, when I'm jerking off, I don't bubble. Friends don't let friends bubble when they jerk off.
Right? It's like, come on, man. At least give me the reach around. I deserve.
Exactly. Bubble.
Bubbles. All right. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. We got Cindy Logan, Sherry, Thomas Gomez, Raven Rose, Jennifer Paulson, the Water Girls in the house from Psychobabble. Hell yeah. We got Ashley Lynn Ballard, Creeper Mama, Drew. How you guys doing? We appreciate you guys for tuning in to the Best Kills podcast. With me and the Bloody Buddy Mick right here. And once again, everybody, press the share button. I haven't got to say that much on this show.
Oh,
so. Press the button, goddammit!
Hold on. Please.
Bing.
let me.
And let me
Please,
see if
please press your share button now.
Yep.
How was that? Was that terrible? Good.
That was good. It was more subtle than I would say it. I demand that you press the share button. Mick will ask you to press it.
I'll ask you nicely, and Scott will ask you kind of the way that he is. You know.
Damn it. But anyway, I have to talk about the most iconic scene of that movie. And I was thinking it was the part where the guy tried to stab the bed with a knife. And the bed sucks all the meat off of his fingers. And he's got two skeleton hands and shit. And the girl's breaking his fingers off and shit. And he has no emotion. Like, this shit didn't hurt.
Right. That's right. No, there's no screaming. There's no nothing. He just pulls out and he's got these skeleton hands.
Yeah.
That was so weird, and then at one point they break his skeleton hands and they use it to get a fire going.
Yeah,
how good was that? It was like, hey, we don't have anything around here to make a fire with. Oh, wait, there's my hands.
Right, that guy.
Right? Come on, wouldn't you if you could?
All right. Oh God, yeah. Just some of the scenes in there. I mean, the ending was trippy. Like I said, people, this is a must to see. If you're big into horror and you like old school horror films, definitely check out Deathbed.
If you like horror, if you like tits,
definitely.
And
jizzing beds that kill.
Yeah, and beds that kill. This is the place to go.
I mean, if you're a fan of the Hellraiser bed getting sucked into stuff, then you're gonna love this movie.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah. This is just that scene done again and again and again and again.
Yes. Without all the cool effects, but they put their own twist on the illusions, man, and I kind of like that. Like just what they had. I mean, it worked.
No. It was completely. You have to think of it this way: there was such a European influence going on, and the thing is it was so consistent. It had to be intentional.
Yeah,
definitely. You know, I mean, there was like that kind of airy, artsy fartsy
nude beach.
It's like things didn't have to completely connect to each other, and it's like the idea of continuity was the hobgoblin of small minds. You know, I mean, it was nothing.
It left you wondering.
It really did leave you wondering.
Hell yeah, but once again, everybody, I appreciate you guys for tuning in right here on Scary Face for the Best Kills podcast. If you guys have any questions for me,
Nick, I want questions. I also want to talk about what your backyard was like when you were a kid.
Well, it wasn't mine. It was actually a friend of mine who got me into it, and
right.
Yeah, his parents hated us.
I can imagine.
Oh yeah, man.
It's like just watching that. Having raised having grandkids now.
Oh yeah.
And having raised many kids. I look at that and I go, wow. But then I remember back, because let's face it, there was no rules. I don't know about the time that you were growing up, but I was growing up in the 70s and rules.
Lucky bastard.
Rules were.
I mean, the 80s were cool, man. I mean, I grew up watching your work, so.
Yeah, well,
you made my childhood cool, Mick, damn it.
This is what I've heard before. Yeah, but I mean, I'll give you just a quick example. This the bathroom on think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Leatherface, right?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. You remember the bathroom sequence?
I do.
Right? That really disgusting.
Yep.
Thing is, I took that from real life. I took that from my dad used to go down and hang out or constantly be picking up parts for his mini junkie cars. At a local parts store, and back then they were disgusting, right? It's grease and oil. Yeah, exactly. It was like the Napa, right? and the thing is it had many things to fix cars with, but it was lacking on personal hygiene on every possible level.
Right.
And inside of it, the bathroom that was in it, I remember really distinctly when I was probably like eight or nine. I was like, "Can I use your bathroom?" And you go into the. I open up the door and there are these cut out, and you have to think of how much time this took. There was these cut out naked pictures from every like scuzzy magazine you could imagine, all over the walls and the ceiling, just like right next to each other, full collage, right? Everywhere. And the thing is the toilet and the sink, both of them leaked constantly, as well as being so filthy that the only place that like kind of looked even partially white was where the water leaked down, and constantly ran, right? So it had actually its own ecology going. It's like its own. You could see the path to the sea. Right. And the bathroom had, the sink, like there was that spot over the toilet,
right?
Where your hand went,
right?
And they always had greasy hands, and I think primarily most of them must have been right-handed.
There was no toilet paper in that bathroom. I remember that.
Exactly. Well, that too.
That was their hands. It was just like years of wiping with their hand and just not washing.
It was disgusting. And the great thing about it was so we found out that we tried to duplicate that look, but we couldn't. We just didn't have the time to actually do it, to actually make that much porn end to end to make the whole room look like. But we did our best.
Right. Hell yeah, it was good, man. If you guys ain't familiar with Mick right here, you got to Google Mick. I mean, because he could tell you what he does and what he's about and what he's done, but we'll be here all night for maybe 2 years.
You will find out.
Google, damn it.
But I'm going to go back to you, to your friend's backyard. Now, what state was this in other than confusion?
Okay, this was in Tucson, Arizona, when I actually started getting a little notoriety from doing my backyard wrestling matches.
Right.
We got CNN 2020, Real TV, a bunch of different people hit us up. A bunch of news channels started coming out and kind of blew us up. But that backyard was fucked up.
When did the films come out?
The films, I do believe, came out in 2000, or actually 2001, roughly, I think.
After the notoriety?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was putting in a lot of crazy effort to get known in that field. I wanted to become a professional, of course, and since I didn't have any wrestling schools around us, I just wrestled in the backyard with my friends and beat the shit out of each other and recorded it and made a bunch of money.
What was the worst accident you guys had?
Well, the worst accident, personally.
I take that back. What was the worst intentional you guys had?
Oh, man, the worst oh, jeez. I mean, I got scars all over my body from years of wrestling in barbed wire, thumbtacks, glass, fire, cactus, mouse traps, bug zappers, ants and scorpions I've wrestled with. I've wrestled with all types of stuff, man. I was a luchador in Mexico for 4 years. I've wrestled, everywhere. I've always wanted to be an entertainer, and, I started at a young age. I got trained professionally in 2002. And I wrestled for 17 years and retired in 2016. And I hate life. It's because I'm all beat up inside. I'm like, I can't even move around. I'm like, I'm 35 now, and I started when I was 15.
So you're 35 going on 90.
Right, exactly. That's exactly how I would put it.
Exactly. So this persona that you created then turned around and became this entertaining
Well, yeah, well, I mean, that's just the passion. The passion.
I totally get it.
Yeah, the passion. I mean, like I said, I've always been a natural entertainer. I was big in theater in high school. I loved acting. I loved showcasing my abilities. You know, I was a smooth talker, a little witty and jitty, but
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know, like being in professional wrestling definitely put me on the spot to handle yourself in front of large crowds, I guess.
Gotcha.
And they would give you a microphone. The promoter would come up to you and be like, "Your name is so and so, and you're working this character. Go out there and make that crowd hate you." I'm like, "Okay, you know, I got to be a Jamaican drag queen. Okay, cool."
Well, you know, I had a question because it's funny. You and I were talking about this the other day, and I don't know if this is too far.
Okay.
But you said something I found just fascinating.
Okay.
Is that your job, being one of these wrestlers, is to make sure that the other wrestler doesn't get hurt.
Definitely. You have to protect. I mean, once you get trained in professional wrestling at an actual wrestling school, your whole thoughts of wrestling is thrown out the window until you actually receive proper training, you know. And I knew how to do all the moves. I knew how to sell and act a little bit. And, you know, I had a lot more knowledge going into the school than some of the other people. But, yeah, you learn to protect your opponent at all time.
You see, the thing is that right there by itself, I'm a believer. I'm a production designer. Have been an effects and a production designer. And the thing is everything that we do, you know, as effects design, for instance, is a lot like what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, I have to make it look spectacular.
Yep.
But the number one thing that you're doing when you go in is you're making sure that the other guy does not get hurt.
Exactly. Every time.
And every time, and it comes to you when I would walk on the set as an effects designer, I would take over the set.
Oh yeah.
In other words, I would be the first. I would be everything. The director and the first AD would be under my territory because this is a more dangerous thing. This is, you know, this.
You got wires hanging, all types of crazy stuff all around you.
You got explosions, or you have things moving. You know, the definition of special effects, of mechanical special effects, is something that moves.
Wow. Yeah,
Think about it for a minute.
Yeah.
Something that moves other than an actor is a special effect. So if it's raining, for instance, that's something that's moving. Yep. You know, if you're doing lightning, the lightning is moving across the screen. If you're exploding something, it's moving. You know, if you have water, it's moving. All these things are in fact, makeup special effects follows under the same rule. If it's moving, you know, if it's moving and it's makeup and it's moving also, that also makes that a special effect.
Right, exactly.
So I just, that has always stuck to me. When you said that, ever since then I've just been fascinated because I think of overall things. I mean, as a production designer, you think of, you know, the whole of how a film looks, the whole of how your backyard wrestling thing looked.
Right.
You know, it looked dangerous because it really was dangerous.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was reckless. I mean, honestly, my whole being a backyard wrestler, like it haunted me in my professional wrestling career, because when you get into pro wrestling, they don't want to work with a guy who's a backyard wrestler. They want to wrestle with a guy who's a professionally trained wrestler. And you know, in wrestling, they take guys that look good who have no training to get in there, and they teach them the bread and butter stuff of the business, how to fall, how to act a little bit. And you know, it gets to that point to where, like, if you're wrestling a backyard wrestler, they don't like you in the locker room. They're like, "Oh, you're a yardie, homeboy." You know, I was like, "No, man, I went and got trained professionally. I just got famous with that. I took all the money and got trained professionally. Damn it."
Well, it's like I always said. You know that I always used to call the stuntmen pussies because they'd hit you and it wouldn't hurt.
Right? Exactly. That's the illusion.
Look, you missed me by 2 inches.
Right? Okay, Sherry wants to ask. She says, "What's the funniest movie that you ever worked on?"
Me?
Yeah.
You mean intentionally?
Right? Or what? Okay, is in terms of I guess I don't know production wise funny or funniest on set.
Boy, on that's such a I worked on a comedy that was not funny at all. I worked on Mr. Christmas Dinner, and there was nothing funny about that. I actually sat in. I used to sit in that the theater watching dailies, and the dailies were just consistently not funny. But then we got the first cut of the film, and here's a great thing. There is a thing that only true filmmakers know, is that if you're watching a comedy, right, that's coming together, and you have the director there and everything, and it's not funny, is how the hell do you get out of that theater? How the I mean, talk about, because you're supposed to, so you got to come up to the director and you certainly don't feel like smiling. Say, hey man, I have to say, the sound was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Then you keep going.
Cindy Logan says, "What other movies have you worked on?" Well, Cindy, I mean, I can rattle off a couple.
Okay,
Mick
go.
has worked on Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4, Blade, Boogie Nights, Critters 2, The Kindred. The list goes on, man. Jesus, Lindy, Cindy.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat was probably my favorite. I love Mortal Kombat.
Hercules, The Hidden, The Night of the Scarecrow.
Yes.
I could go on. Tales from a lot of the Tales from the Dark Side stuff.
Love
Witchboard, The Kindred,
Yes.
the TV series Nightmare, the TV series. Everybody kind of, for some reason, loves the Dawkins video that I worked on.
Oh, yeah. Dream Warriors. That's right.
Let's see. Man, it's just... Oh, Critters 2?
Yeah, Critters 2 was the shit. I love that. Didn't you actually build that whole town, Mick, in Critters 2?
I built the whole town. Well, what happened is we lost the town. They were going to film... They were going to film, and they had a town back east that they were going to go and they were going to film in, because it literally took a whole town. Because the whole thing was outside and around, and they had a town that was perfect, and they lost it because of a snowstorm.
Shit.
4 weeks before filming, it snowed, and it just looked like it wasn't going to stop. And all of a sudden, they were out of a town, and they called me up because I had a reputation for building really big stuff, and they said, "Look." And so I got together with the production designer of that, who was a friend of mine, Philip Foreman. We sat down, we designed a town literally from scratch in a couple of days, did all the drawings and stuff, and then I went up and built it.
Nice.
I got to tell you, I've seen it a couple of times recently. That was a great looking film.
Hell yeah, man. And actually, I just heard they're actually doing a reboot of that whole Critters franchise.
Oh, well, I just about 5 years ago, I stopped working down there. And I had been working on a bunch of promo stuff for about 10 years. And I got outside of Hollywood, which is what you have to do before you can look at anything that you did in relationship to everything else. You know what I'm saying? Because Hollywood doesn't have a relationship to itself.
Right? Jesus.
It just plows itself under and keeps going.
Right.
So you get out, and all of a sudden I realize that there are all these people, there are all these things that are still popular. Right? I had no idea. I mean, I literally had no idea. And Rachel Talalay said, you have to look at some of the stuff that you've done over the years, because it's still really, really popular. Right. And I was like, are you kidding? And then I just get this, and one of them, there are a couple of things that, a couple of them just surprised the hell out of me. And one of them is how good Critters 2 is, and how it stands up today.
Oh yeah, it was the best, I think, in the whole franchise.
Oh yeah, I think it was the best of the franchise. But I had this weird way of like like Zelig, like I showed up in these weird, great places, just because of the machinations of what I did in Hollywood and stuff, just in the right place at the right time for all these amazing, 80s and 90s films.
Right. And I still think like the two biggest things that stand out in my mind that you created was, of course, the Freddy Krueger worm. And that illusion that you created with that chair, when Alice falls through that chair for the era that was so fucking good.
It was fine. Totally. I gotta tell you, there's so few people that actually grab what a good little shot that is. Right. I mean, it's absolutely. It's perfect. It's just perfection. There are a few things that you do that you say, oh, that I wish I'd done that some other way or something.
Right.
But that's just perfection.
Okay, I want to give a big shout out to everybody right now tuning in. We got Cindy Logan, Sherry, Thomas Gomez says he loved Mantis. Sherry, Seth Beebe.
Mantis is amazing.
Richard, Jeffrey in the building, Axel Klern. What's good, everybody? I appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, actually, I got to tell you something. Mantis was a blast. Man, we had so much fun.
Thomas says that's one of his favorites.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the strange thing about it is it's so hard. I wish that they would take that copy that there is of the very first one, the pilot movie, and clean it up a little bit, because it's all there is like a bad tape version that was copied.
Really?
I really would like, because the set for that was just beautiful. I mean, it really was. If I can say so myself.
Oh yes.
And of course I will.
Okay, so we can actually take some questions. Let's see. Sherry says, "Who was the biggest diva that you got to work with?"
Oh my God! I'm trying to think of her name. The girl on Witchboard. Tawny Katane.
Oh yeah, Tawny.
Yeah,
she was in a bunch of like old school '80s music videos too, right? Like.
Yeah, she was with White
Snake. Right? Yeah, she was she was on the hood of the car.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean,
hell yeah.
The thing is, she was in everybody's. Every male's, because there was two beautiful things.
Oh yeah.
to a teenage boy, we're right there. The car and the girl.
Right. Smart marketing techniques by Whitesnake.
Yeah. By Whitesnake and white people. So there you go. Exactly. No, that was it. But yeah, I worked with her on Witchboard the very beginning of her career, and then later on, I worked with her on Hercules.
Awesome.
And on Hercules, she was such a diva, and the people in New Zealand, they don't like the overblown American thing.
Yeah.
The concept of diva does not sit well with anybody in New Zealand, because they're all kind of a do-it-yourselfer kind of thing. And she didn't show up one time on set because she was busy out shopping.
That's terrible.
Dude, I'm telling you, by the time she got to the set, like 6 hours late, they hated her.
Oh, I can only imagine.
They hated her. I mean, just the tension on the set when she walked in was just, it was fabulous. It was just fabulous.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Seth Beebe says, no pun intended, but what was the biggest nightmare to work on? What film?
Oh, wow. Boy, I certainly had a lot of them. But Blade?
Blade
was just terrible. The director was kind of like working against everybody.
Okay.
And we had a pint size karate kicking reverse racist star, and was
that Wesley Snipes or something? Wesley Snipes was Blade, right? Okay, yeah. No, it wasn't Arsenio Hall.
No, it was just... was Arsenio Hall stand-in Wesley Snipes.
Right? Well,
Oh man, that was just that guy was terrible. The director was terrible. He was British. My two most hated things is racism and the British in general.
Right.
The thing is I'm not the kind of person that I believe in gun control. I really do. But there are cases of where it's gone too far.
Yeah.
For instance, in Britain, there was the director that came from Britain.
Mm-hmm.
I have always said this is we would not have had the problems that we had on Blade if he was born in Texas, because he never would have made it.
Right?
I'm just saying, you know.
Right?
I mean, it's like the old, you know, because he deserved killing.
Right.
Was, you know, I couldn't help myself. He never would have been there. He would have never made it out of Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest headache.
Oh God, it was terrible. It was just everything. You know, he would change his mind about the cop's wardrobe.
Right.
On a shot that had 30 cops in it that all got killed.
Oh,
which
shit.
means that all of them had squibs on their uniforms.
Oh, wow.
And we had to tear all those squibs. And if it's one, it's three.
Right.
You know, you know this, right? You know, if it's one, it's three, right?
The squibs actually blow up, though, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, yeah. So they fucked those things up.
Right, exactly. So you have to have three examples of it, right?
Yeah.
You know, in case it all fails and goes horribly wrong. So that's 90 costumes that had to be redone overnight. That literally the costumer was in tears as she tried to like collect all these, and in the effects department we had to redo the squibs on all the new uniforms. And here's the thing: what possible difference could the uniforms of the characters make in film like Blade, right? You know, because you knew the difference, right? No, you didn't.
Right,
Nobody did.
exactly. Could have been henchmen, goons, the Foot Clan.
It could have been anything. I swear, and he just did that every day. At one point, there was a cameraman that was 15 feet up shooting a camera down, and the director kept badgering him. Mm-hmm. And eventually the guy jumped down on him.
Oh, shit.
And beat him up. Now, here's the thing. That happened, and the thing is everybody stood behind him and walked out, and it took the union to make an agreement with the director so that all he could do was talk to the assistant director. He could not talk to anybody else.
Hell yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So you had to go through all that shit just to get Blade finished?
Well, he actually did go off on somebody like after 2 weeks, and everybody walked out, and they lost another day of filming.
Oh, God.
So
money down the drain.
Oh, the guy was just a nightmare. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. So Cindy Logan is asking, are you currently working on any new movies?
Well, you know, that's really funny that you should ask. Is next year I should have like 2 or 3 that I'm jumping back into. One of them is going to be a fan film called Vengeance.
Love fan films.
and this is going to be for Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th.
Awesome.
And the arrangement that I'm setting up is I'm going to be the first AD, awesome. and I'm going to be the production designer, and then that crew is going to be mine to direct my first film.
Hell yeah, Mick. That's awesome.
You
hear that? We got it.
My God, I know enough. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough.
Right?
I'm people
exactly.
Like
You've been in the business how long? You could be a damn director. Damn it. I've even directed my own little short films on YouTube. You know, and they're pretty intense. You know, it's kind of more true crime based with the weird abnormal psychology of characters.
Yes, but Scott, you're a true crime all by yourself.
I know.
That's just documentary.
Right? Karnage! The backyard bruiser. But once again, everybody, appreciate you guys for tuning in. We got about 8 minutes left. Let's see who we got in the building. We got Cindy Logan. Sherry says, so many damn classics. Let's see, Axel, Jeffrey, Cindy Logan, Richard, Raven Rose, Seth Beebe. Let's see. Trying to read some more. Sherry says, do you have any props from anything that you've worked on?
I get asked that all the time.
Right?
And you know what? Let me tell you what I tell everybody, because I literally get at least an email a week saying, do you have any props off of Nightmare 4? Do you have any props off of Critters 2? Or any of the multiple films that are tried. And I say this, if you had even asked me a day after the film was over, I would have said no.
Right?
Because
you worked on it, you did it, boom.
Right. But that's you ask any true artist, you ask him if he likes the work that he just finished, and he will tell you, oh my God, that piece of shit.
Right? It's always on to the next project. It's
that's
like
exactly
you do it,
what your
done.
mind. That's exactly what my mind always would do. I would say, "Oh God, I don't want anything to do with that."
Okay, let's see. Okay, awesome. Thank you. How you doing, Jenna Triplet? How you doing? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, if you guys have any more questions, we'll.
How many people we got there?
Let's see. There was a bunch. Now there's down to 8 because they know it's the end of the show. So.
Oh, gotcha.
We got. There was like 20 people in there at one time. Damn.
Oh my gosh! Damn. Damn, Sam.
Jabus. Let's see. To me, let's see. Sherry says, to me, it would be like taking home a little horror baby. Wait a minute. Right?
Well,
okay, so she's gonna make a horror baby tonight. She's gonna watch Deathbed, and then make a baby, make a baby to Deathbed. It's like I was conceived during the making of one of the most fucked up films of all time.
See that now? There's an angle that even I hadn't thought of.
Right? It's like I was conceived. I think I was in. I think my father and mother was in. What'd they say? It was. Elephant Island, Antarctica.
Really? Oh, well, that's scary.
doing ice flat tracking with motorcycles over there with the big old spikes on the wheels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my dad was into like flat tracking and stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
But let's see, Block Heat Props is taking home a little piece. Okay, there, I see what she said. She says basically taking a prop home is like taking a piece of your horror baby with you.
Yeah, I just, you
right?
know.
That's kidnapping.
Yeah, really. It's more that I just never thought of it because I always.
He's got his hands, people. His hands have built that shit. That's a piece of it.
It's like here's the thing that I have to say. People did take pictures of all my stuff.
Right? They're out there. Right? Oh, shit. But once again, everybody, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in to the Best Kills podcast. I am your apocalyptic bloody buddy Karnage. And this is Mick Strawn over here. And I still have the bra on my head and the thong bikini underwear. I'm kind of, this thing's been riding up on me the whole show.
Well, the thing is I keep talking into this big carrot and not the mic. And I don't know what that's all about.
Well, you going vegan on us? Damn.
Well, I always think to myself, I think of how good a vegan would be to eat. Right. Because look, if you go down and you can buy this grass-fed beef, right?
Right. Well, that's some good stuff, though.
Isn't that a vegan?
I guess.
Right?
I mean, yeah. But they got so many loopholes with the stuff that they eat. They're like, this is real meat. I mean, it's meat from walnuts and stuff, but it tastes like chicken. He's like, everything, if you can season anything the right way, you could probably make a piece of a dried dog turd taste good.
Well, let's face it. You know what their main seasoning would be? Bacon.
Right? Hell yeah. Vegan bacon sprinkles, baby.
Vegan bacon sprinkles.
Hell yeah, it's oxymoronic and a half.
Yeah. You know what a vegan bacon sprinkle is, don't you? Bacon.
I don't know. For $5.95, we'll hook you up.
just bacon.
All right, people. Once again, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in to Scary Face right here for the Best Kills podcast with me and Mick. And we'll be back next Monday. And I don't know. We'll have to discuss, some more weird movies.
We're gonna have to dig up a weird one. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that we're becoming the guys that pick up the weird movie.
Right? We don't let these movies die, damn it. We're digging them up.
I'm telling you.
We can be I'm going to make a flyer of us, like we're digging up graves, and we'll see, like, the top of a VHS cassette tape.
Exactly.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much, Cindy, Logan,
Thank you, everybody.
Sherry, everybody. Once again, from everybody here at Butcher Media and Chop Block TV and Scary Face, you guys have a wonderful day. And until next time, goodbye, people.
ButcherMedia.com, positive bridge building for businesses and entertainers worldwide. Also check out Chop Block TV on YouTube and Facebook for the best in social media entertainment. Also follow us on Instagram at Butcher Media and ButcherBabe69. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Chop Block TV for the best in social media entertainment.
Can't have me.